Thursday is my 38th birthday, and thank you. And my mom still holds my cheeks in her hands and looks at me and says, "You and your teddy bear brown eyes, you have the sweetest face." And then she puts her nose to my nose and rubs beside me. And then she tilts her head and blinks her eyes and gives me butterfly kisses when her lashes touch mine. And I tell her, "Mom, I get them from you, who is the sweetest." And of course she's my mother, so she's going to say nice things about me. But there is something to my face. Because out in the world, people often say things like, "You look like my best friend from home," "You remind me of my favorite childhood neighbor," or "You're just like my elementary school gym teacher," though I think that's about something else. But the truth of it is, I love humanity. I love people. I am a soft spot for older people and younger people and people in between. I really do. I love people. However, I'm also an introvert, which means that I'm tortured by a deep love for humanity while also having a very low level of tolerance for interactions with humanity. So it's rough. And it became extremely rough when I worked as an innkeeper at a luxury bed and breakfast. So my friend Nancy opened a bed and breakfast, and Nancy is the perfect B&B host combination. She is a gorgeous, voluptuous artist and also a Jewish mother of 5. So what that means is she surrounds you with staggering beauty while stuffing your face with French toast soufflés, baked eggs, arugula, bagels, carafes of coffee, orange juice. Do you need a Band-Aid? Do you need any contraception? Are you sure he's the one for you? She was an excellent teacher for me. I swapped out living in the basement of the luxury B&B. That may be my lot in life, living in the basement of luxury. Below the Picasso suite and the Miles Davis suite, in exchange for cooking gourmet breakfast on the weekends and taking care of the guests, which is how I met Chuck and Patty. I remember their names because they're both cuts of meat, so it made it easy. Chuck and Patty. And Chuck and Patty came to the B&B several times. Now you'll always remember their names too. I actually talked to Patty tonight to make sure that I could use her name, her cut of meat. Anyways, Chuck and Patty came to the B&B a couple of times because they were looking to move to Tucson, Arizona, which is where this B&B was located, and scoping out property. So they were regular visitors, and I saw them on the weekends, poured them OJ. I happened to live just underneath their favorite suite, so stallions, I'll tell you that. In their late 70s. May we all be so blessed. But every time I would serve them, they would say, "Amanda, if we move to town, will you be our friend?" So when I know every soft spot was activated, while my nervous system congealed and freaked out at the same time. Yes, of course I'll be your friend. So, when those things happen, you don't actually think people are actually going to move there. You just are like, "Yeah, of course, you guys are so nice. I'll be your friend." Well, in their last stay, Chuck and Patty let me know they bought a house, and they were actually moving in this weekend. And now I can be their friend, and they would love to have me over for dinner. So, of course, I say, "Of course, I'd love to." And they're really nice, so I mostly did. And they said, "Our daughter's in town. It'll be a little housewarming. We'll have dinner." Great. So again, being an introvert, deeply loving people, and also deeply fearing them. I got ready. I head to the kitchen to eat a couple of grapes before I leave, and I bump into Nancy, who says, "Where are you going tonight?" And I say, "Chuck and Patty's for dinner," which also sounds like dinner. But she said, "Really?" And I said, "I know. They've been saying for months that they want to be my friend and have me over for dinner, and tonight's the night. I guess their daughter's in town, and we're all gonna have dinner." And Nancy's eyes widen, and she gets a huge grin and puts her hand over her mouth like she is holding in something bad. What? Amanda, Chuck and Patty have been talking to me for the last several months about their daughter, who has recently come out as a lesbian. And I say, "Okay." And she says, "Amanda, Jewish parents. This is a setup." I shriek from places I didn't realize could shriek. And she says, "What are you gonna do?" And I say, "What do you think I'm gonna do? I thought they were new to town and lonely and maybe they wanted to mother somebody." Like I said, yes, I'd go. So I have to go. So I went. I got into my truck. I rolled down, the driveway to they literally lived about 12 seconds from the bed and breakfast. But a lot happened in that 12 seconds. Being, introverted, people don't understand introverts. So, being intimate with 1,000 people for 7 minutes, no problem. Having dinner with Chuck and Patty for 2 hours, or anyone, some of my best friends I haven't seen in, years, or had dinner with them in years. Maybe that means I'm a recluse. I don't know. There are probably other names for me. But that was nervous enough for me to be having dinner with basically strangers. But then, thinking intensely about things, which is what we do, I realized how sweet this actually was. That these loving parents had confided in somebody that their daughter had come out and they wanted to show support. And I was the vehicle to share that support. Like they were lesbian hunters. Like they went out into town, gave me a good look, think she's one. Let's take her home to meet Catherine. That sounds right. Similar interests. They both like having sex with women. Perfect, right? So, I've certainly heard of worse reactions from parents. So, the tender parts of me got that I was going to take this on. So, I pull my truck, my 2003 Toyota Lesbian, up, and adjacent to the very responsible heterosexual gray sedan that belonged to her parents, and got out. I felt my cowboy boots were focused on the sidewalk, that we were doing this and we're taking one for the team tonight. So I get to the door, and that very brief sidewalk pep talk, my nervous system completely collapses, and I feel every sweat gland activated, and I have to pee suddenly, and does that mean I'm up? Okay, wow, this is bad. Okay, really fast. Everybody listens, don't laugh. I get up to the door. I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to go on a blind date, and it's a double blind date because nobody knows, and the parents think this is great. Boom. I ring the doorbell. It literally goes ding dong, like a sitcom harbinger of absurdity that's to come. Boom! Chuck comes to the door, answers the door. I'm sort of grabbing my crotch because I have to pee. I unhand my crotch, shake his hand. Hi, nice to see you. I look over his shoulder. I see Catherine. Her eyes are bulging with every, dormant adolescent volcano of indignity that has now been activated into her 20s because her parents have clearly set her up with clearly a lesbian. Her mom is like, oh my God, her eyes are darting motherly to each person, is everybody okay? But she can't say anything because of what she's done here. Nobody can speak. So nobody's okay. Chuck takes me to the garage immediately, shows me around all the construction projects, the drywall, the garage door opener that's very smooth, and the gravel. Oh, it's so gray and small, I say. I don't know anything about construction. In any event, we had hors d'oeuvres. Chuck asked me, what do you plan on doing with your life? Which is code for, how do you plan on supporting my daughter? I'm like, oh my God, I don't know. I thought it was over at the hors d'oeuvres, and then they took me to dinner. And the bottom line is, Albert Einstein said, the most important decision we have to make is this a hostile universe or a friendly universe? I stand behind a friendly universe, but with a semi-sweet face. Thank you.